you used an interesting word there, which was dynasty. And like no one's going to disagree with that, right? Then I think the word I used was sprout. Like a dynasty is sprouting right now potentially for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But dynasty, and I think you'll agree with this, and everyone will agree, it's more than two, right? So it has to be at least three.
Yeah.
So this would be the second, right? And this is not me disagreeing with you. I just think it's a fascinating thing that you said because look, I think the Thunder will win this series. Also, you can make a case that the Thunder, let's say it's Thunder Spurs again next year, which will be the favorite to happen, right, in the Western Conference Final. Right. Can OKC beat them again? Of course.
Sure.
But could the Spurs beat them next time? Absolutely. If I gave you right now, and it's a difficult question, but I respect your opinion and you're really good at this, so I'm fascinated your answer. If I gave you like the next 2-3 years, Thunder, not this year, we both like the Thunder. Who are you taking, Thunder or Spurs, and why?
The Spurs. And so you're right. Like, I agree with you. It takes 3, 4, 5 for a dynasty. I think for me last night, that was a case of like, oh, you think that the Thunder are like the Storm's just going to stop now? Like it's over now? No, they're going to threaten this thing. Like they're going to line the pieces up to say we believe that we are a dynasty, and it looks like the Spurs are the only thing that are stopping them. Now, we could say all this, and I hope this doesn't happen, but none of us had Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton having the injury situations that they just had over the last year. The NBA goes through random waves and different things where unexpected things can happen. But I would take the Spurs. I think the Spurs' future is super, super bright because for Wembanyama, like last night, for him to be yelling at his teammates, I was impressed. You're 22 years of age, man. Like we Nick, how many times covering sports have you said about a guy in their young 20s, he needs to be better at leading? No, we would be saying he needs to learn from this and become a better leader. This guy's got it all checked off. He's got it all crossed off. If he stays healthy, he's going to run this league for the next 15 years. And that is a precious piece of gold for Adam Silver and his league. Because you can't take your eyes off Wembanyama. You just can't. He didn't even play well last night. I still can't take my eyes off him because his impact speaks no limits, no boundaries. They're set up. Castle, Fox, hell, Harper. I mean, they've got Carter Bryant, who I think is going to sprout in the future years.
It's amazing.
It's like they have development projects at the end of their bench that haven't even developed. What's interesting is how much these two franchises mirror each other, how close they are in proximity, and how much their fan bases despise each other. It's great for sport. It's awesome for basketball. I would take the Spurs in future years because I'm not gonna bet against a guy who I think can cause friction in the Jordan LeBron debate and put his name in there when it's all said and done. But yeah, I mean that is the makings of a rivalry that runs the league, and we're in it right now. So let's enjoy it. Like Nick, I don't know if you agree or disagree. I can't remember the last time I look this forward to teams that weren't mine playing each other again. Like I am excited for tomorrow night, and we're not even in the NBA Finals.
Because you know that barring injury, and I know you're 100% right, like things can happen in sports, but if things remain static and there's health, I got news for everybody. This is the Western Conference Final next year. It's the Western Conference Final in 2 years. Like this is just the beginning of what could be a decade-long rivalry between two absolute monster franchises with stud young players.
And if your argument is that's boring, then I would say back to you, have you watched sports television for the last 50 years, and have you seen the ratings reports when those rivalries are renewed in the playoffs? The ratings reports have always said the same things. Rivalries drive the bus in sport. Dislike drives the bus in sport. And, I will say this. There's been a lot made about the NBA and their television rights situation and how the games are all over. And you can, if you want to argue about things and how random, here's the deal though. Every game of this series is on network television. Every single game. And when we get to the conference finals, in this television deal where you're going to be able to find things. But there's never been more playoff games in the NBA on over-the-air TV than there have been this year. In fact, last night was the first Game 5 in the NBA conference finals, in the conference finals. It was the first Game 5 on over-the-air television. So I'm talking about NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, the 4 big ones. It's the first conference finals Game 5 in the NBA on one of those stations since 2002. And so this rivalry is not
which
only...
was NBC also, right? Which was NBC also.
Which was on NBC also. It was on NBC also. Game 5, this far into a series to be on over-the-air TV. So, like, to me, the league, like, it's going through a period of transition, and it's also going with it in a time where when people sit down to watch television now, they're flipping around on nights like this, and I believe it's extremely easy to access. And in future years, when other partners have it, this is part of the new reality. I just think, like, the NBA, it feels like there's a certain group of people that find ways to be critical of it. If you're being critical, you're not watching the product. Like, whoever the Knicks play in the finals, the quality of basketball is not going to be, it's going to be here. It's going to be absolutely enthralling and thrilling to watch. So I just, if you want to call me a homer for the league, well, go ahead and call me that. But I can't unsee what I'm watching right now. And we're talking about the birth of something really, really special.
2 points on that. The first thing I would say is I'm a captive audience. I'm never going to not watch. I love sports. I've been watching the NBA for almost 40 years. So, like, I love it all the time, so I'm with you on that. The other thing I'll say is, and I always remain consistent, because whether, John, you're on the show or not, like, my audience, like my audience will call me out if I'm hypocritical. So I have to tell the truth whether you're here or not. So I'm going to tell the truth right now. I turn 43 next Saturday. I consider myself to be like a young boomer almost. Like, I used to be great with it. Now I don't want to deal with newfangled technology. I have to be honest with you. I have less than zero with the I watched last night's game on Peacock. I didn't even watch it on NBC.
Wow.
I think this is all, I'm being serious, and I'm not saying that this is not me sucking up to you or NBC. I'm telling the truth. I think all of this is much ado about nothing.
I agree.
Much ado about nothing.
Nick, I also, this is my other thing on this. What is going on with people when they say the game doesn't start at 8, starts at 8:06, starts at 8:12?
It's been going on forever in sports. That always happens.
It's been going on for years.
Forever.
Like,
correct.
I can remember this vividly. The Browns played the Ravens in a Monday night game. It was a dud Monday night game. This is like, it was Halloween. I was like 7 or 8 years old. And my parents let me stay up for the game, and it was at 8:30. Now, I'm hopping on social media, and I'm reading tweets from people saying, this is so late. Folks, what, did you just drop out of the sky?
Right.
This is prime time. The game's not at 7 o'clock. I'm sorry, it's not during the Lawrence Welk show. It's in prime time. Like, have the stamina, go grab some chicken wings, go get a 6-pack, or get some caffeine in your system. This is where we're at as sports fans now. Like, I get it. You get it. Yeah, are there some mornings where our kid gets up at 5:30 in the morning or 6 a.m. and needs us? Of course, but this is part of life, and it has been for a long, long time. The complaining about the times and this and the logistics and that, like, come on, man. Like, it is much ado about nothing. It is what it is.
Would you like to complain about something?
I don't really complain about much. I don't.
I think I'm going to get you to complain about something.
Oh, you're
going to
get me. I know where you're going with this one. Yeah, I know where you're going.
Would you like for me to even set it up, or would you like to speak about your hometown NBA team and their reaction after getting swept by my Knicks? Yeah,
that reaction was embarrassing, and it may have been more embarrassing than the performance in Game 4.
That's exactly what I said yesterday. It was actually more embarrassing. I agree.
Which is hard to fathom, because the performance on the floor on your home court, to have a team celebrate a conference championship on your court. We often see it in the finals, like, and even the World Series. You do not, as the home team, want to see another team celebrate on your field or your court. Come on. The Cavs, they laid down. They laid down, and then for less than 24 hours to pass, and them to say we're running it back with everybody that was, that everybody was part of it from a leadership standpoint. I know there's humans, Nick, and I know these. What I mean by that is I know these people have families, and I know that they've got lives. So I'm not in the class of like, I try not to come on and say fire everybody and scorched earth, and you've known me long enough. That's not what I do. That being said, that was very curious for them to not evaluate their situation and say what's best for us. Because to me, with the Cavs, I think they've got an owner in Dan Gilbert who's starting to get up there in age. I don't know how much. I don't know if Dan wants to do this another 10, 15 years. If he wants to do another, my guess would probably be 5 years or so. I don't think
he's 64, Dan Gilbert.
He's 64. Yeah. So look, I don't get the sense he wants to do this forever. I think for him, he's looking at the window, in his mind. I think his mindset is our window's still open. Nick, you can't look through that window and say with confidence that it's still open after what happened in the series that we just watched.